The bar was loud with laughter, glasses clinking, music pulsing. But amidst the noise, Daniel's world collapsed in silence. His wife, Clara, leaned across the table, giggling with her coworkers. Then, loud enough for everyone to hear, she bragged with a cruel smirk. "If I ever had to choose between my husband and Matt," her hand brushed the arm of the tall man beside her, "I'd choose Matt in a heartbeat." The group roared with laughter. Matt grinned with smug pride. And Daniel, standing at the doorway after coming to surprise her, felt the floor disappear beneath his feet. That single sentence ripped open his chest. Humiliation, betrayal, rage. It all fused into one burning oath. She would regret every word. Daniel stumbled back into the cold night air, the sound of Clara's laughter chasing him like a ghost. His hands shook as he gripped the steering wheel, his mind replaying her words over and over like a cruel record. "I'd choose Matt over my husband." The humiliation was unbearable. She wasn't whispering. She wasn't hiding. She wanted him to hear. That night, Daniel didn't sleep. Instead, he sat in the darkness of their home, the home he had built for her, listening to the silence, imagining her lips on another man, her laughter, her warmth that once belonged to him. Something inside him cracked. At first, he tried to confront her. "Clara, do you mean what you said?" he asked, his voice trembling not with weakness but with the storm building within. Clara rolled her eyes. "Oh, Daniel, don't be dramatic. It was just a joke." But her smirk betrayed her. She wasn't sorry. She wasn't ashamed. Within weeks, Daniel confirmed the truth. The late nights at work, the sudden secretive texts, the perfume that wasn't his. And finally, the undeniable evidence. Clara's car parked outside Matt's apartment at midnight. Revenge wasn't just an option, it became his obsession. Daniel began planning, silently, methodically. He learned Matt's routines, his gym sessions, his after-work drinks, the weekends he traveled. He watched Clara's movements, piecing together the lies she fed him. The pain that once left him paralyzed transformed into a dark, calculating energy. The first step was humiliation. Just as she humiliated him, Daniel crafted a plan to expose her, to make her the laughingstock she had made him. He gathered proof, photos, videos, messages, every disgusting detail of her affair. At a family dinner one Sunday, surrounded by relatives, Daniel stood, lifted his glass, and smiled. "A toast," he announced. Everyone raised their cups. "To my wife," he said. Clara beamed, expecting flattery. But then Daniel's voice hardened. "To my wife, who told me she would choose her coworker over me." And she did. He projected the photos onto the television screen. Clara with Matt. Clara in his arms. Clara betraying every vow she had ever made. The room froze. Gasps filled the air. Clara's face drained of color as whispers swirled like daggers. She stumbled, reaching for Daniel, but he stepped back coldly. "You bragged once. Now the world knows." The shame burned her. The family turned against her. But for Daniel, it wasn't enough. Humiliation was only the beginning. He wanted Matt destroyed too. Daniel used his skills as an accountant, skills Clara and Matt had both underestimated. Slowly, he traced Matt's financials, his weaknesses. He leaked evidence of embezzlement Matt had foolishly covered up at work. The company fired him, police investigations looming. Matt's career, reputation, and income crumbled overnight. Clara begged, wept, screamed. But Daniel felt nothing. He watched her world burn, brick by brick, with the same cold stare she once gave him when she dismissed his pain. The fire of betrayal had transformed Daniel into something else entirely, something relentless. And yet, as he stood among the ashes of the lives he had destroyed, something inside whispered, "It's still not enough." Clara tried to salvage her life. She moved into a small apartment, her family refusing to speak to her. Matt avoided her calls, drowning in his own ruin. But Daniel wasn't done. He didn't just want revenge, he wanted complete annihilation. His next move was psychological. Every week, Clara received reminders. Anonymous letters slipped under her door. Photos of her affair. Newspaper clippings of Matt's downfall. A burned copy of her wedding vows. Each one stabbed deeper than the last. She knew it was Daniel. She could feel his presence, though he never appeared. That was the point. To haunt her. To make her live in fear every single day. Meanwhile, Daniel spread rumors. Carefully crafted lies mixed with truth. until Clara's name in social circles became synonymous with betrayal and shame. Friends avoided her. Coworkers whispered. She was a pariah. But the climax came one cold evening. Clara returned home to find her apartment door unlocked. Her heart pounded as she entered. Inside, the walls were covered with enlarged photos of her betrayal. Every kiss, every touch with Matt. In the center of the room, on the table, lay her wedding ring, smashed into 2 pieces. And a note, scrawled in Daniel's handwriting. You bragged you'd choose him over me. Now you have nothing. Not him. Not me. Not your family. Not your dignity. This is the cost of your choice. Clara collapsed, sobbing, screaming into the emptiness of her ruined life. For Daniel, it was the final blow. He had taken everything. Her pride, her love, her future. She was a ghost of the woman she once was. And Matt, forgotten, buried under his own disgrace. Daniel stood outside, watching her silhouette crumble through the window. His lips curled into the faintest smile. Not of joy, not of relief, but of victory. Revenge had consumed him. But unlike Clara, he embraced it. He didn't want peace. He didn't want forgiveness. He wanted her broken. And now, she was. The man who once loved her was gone, buried under betrayal. What remained was the shadow she created, the shadow she mocked, dismissed, betrayed. That shadow had won. Moral of the story. Betrayal births monsters, and when love turns to vengeance, destruction is the only language left to speak.